As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we by our lives give light to all who behold us. As the brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Thank you so much. If I could ask you to stay up here for just a moment, I'd appreciate it. And I'd like to invite Ross and Suzanne up. It's a trap.
It's a trap.
We are trapping you.
All right, guys. Go for it.
Baruch atah
We
Adonai.
already did the blessing, guys. You're up here for a different
She's
reason.
doing
right?
the. No, she thought you would.
No, guys.
Okay. Many of us know that
Yeah, that's happening.
this lovely lady here is retiring in 13 days.
13 days.
13 days. The lucky 13.
How many hours a minute?
Oh, if you start that again. As executive editor of The Reporter. And several of her friends, including primarily members of the Reporter board, and Robin and Rabbi and Ross and some others have decided that you deserve something very special prior to Hanukkah. Okay. So, that's for you. As,
Be my guest.
please. So everyone can see what you've gotten. Thank you, Ross, for organizing and pushing me to organize it. Thank you for
Why does that,
before this gets
why
caught on
does
the
that
plane.
think that I'm giving me a clue to what this is?
It's not a puppy. And it's not a cat. Sorry, Rebecca. It's fragile.
Whoops, there we go. Sneaky!
When you tell people you like something and your friends care about you,
I've been looking at this menorah for like the last 3 years. I even printed off the picture because I said I'm not spending that much money on a menorah, but I love it. Thank you.
you're welcome.
And sneaky. Sneaky.
I-
She asked me, oh, you show me that menorah. Why don't you know it?
Because I do love it, and that was that was the great part. Was it was still genuine.
What's up, Phyllis?
Carefully back up.
It's like a unicorn.
Well, you see it more after. It's a beautiful unicorn menorah, or Hanukkah, however you want to, at the top of the box is over.
Yeah, don't worry. We can take care of it.
We'll
Paper
take it later.
afterward, but feel free.
Special people deserve special things.
Too. Okay. I'm not feeling anyone. I thought she asked me to come to me, but it's specifically come up.
What, like I never asked you to light candles?
You too.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Right.
Kiddush? All right. 18 Shabbat blessings for peace in Israel and Palestine. May this light embrace all who are suffering through war. May this light spread and reach toward the hostages and their families, wrapping them in a protective embrace. May this light illuminate paths of safety and shelter for the people of Gaza. May this light shatter barriers separating food and aid from innocent civilians. May this light open space for the people of Israel and Palestine to process their grief and anxiety. May this light break open the barriers in our hearts. May this light soften anger and fear. May this light erase thoughts of revenge. May this light give us strength to stand up against extremists in power. May this light hold gently the traumas of our past and the traumas of our present. May all the people who call Israel and Palestine their home come together to grieve and witness each other's pain. May we transform our grief into solidarity. May our solidarity pave the way for a shared future. May we nurture the divine spark in ourselves. May that spark shine out to include our families, friends, neighbors, and all who live on earth. May the divine light from before creation inspire us to choose life. May this light empower us to build the future we want to see. May this light guide us on the path toward healing and peace. Bless you. There you
go. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho b'yahava uvratzon enchilanu, zikaron l'maaseh v'reishit, ki hu yom tehila l'mikra'e kodesh, zeher litzviot Mitzrayim, ki vanu v'charta, V'yotanu kidashta mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha b'yahava uvratzon kinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha'shabbat. Amen.
L'chaim. Folks, let's continue on page 138 with Lecha Dodi. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, la la la, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, hishmianu el ha'meyuchad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad l'shem u'tiferet, v'litila lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, la la la, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nilcha, ki hi mekor ha'beracha, merosh mikedem nesucha, sof maseh b'machashava techila lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, la la la, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Mikdash melech, ir melucha, kum mitzei mitoch ha'afecha, rav lach shevet be'emek habacha, vehu yachamol, alayikem lalecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, la la la, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Yamin usmol tifrotzi, ve'et Adonai taritzi, hayad ish ben partzi, ve'nismecha, ve'nagila lechadodi likrat kala, Pene Shabbat nekabela, lechadodi likrat kala, la la la, Pene Shabbat nekabela. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, gam besimcha uvetzola, toch emunei am segula, boi chala lechadodi likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabela, lechadodi likrat kala, la la la, B'nei Shabbat nekabela. All right, if you're following along in the book, we're turning to page 636 now for Yedid Nefesh. Yedid Nefesh, Yadadayav Harachaman, Meshoch Avdecha, El Retzonecha, Yarutz Avdecha Kemo Ayal, Ishtachave El Mol HaTorecha, Yedavlo, Yedidutecha, Minofetzuf, Vecholtam, Adonai, Yadadaziv Haolam, Nafshi cholat avatecha, Anail narefana la, Be'arod la, Noam zivecha, As titchazek v'titrapeh, Ve'haitala, Simchat olam, Vatikia Mona, Yadadai rachamecha, V'chusana, Al beinahu v'cha, Ki zekama niksof niksaf, Lirot betiferet, Uzecha, Anaili, Chemdat libi, Chusana, Ve'atitalam, Yigalena, Yarai ufros chaviv alai, Et sukat shelomecha, Ta'ir eretz mikvotecha, Nagila v'nismecha bach, Maher ahuv, Kiva moed, V'choneinu, Ki me'olam, Yadadai-da-da-dai, yadadai-da-da-dai, yadadai-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-dai, yadadai-da-da-dai, yadadai-da-da-dai, yadadai-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-dai, yadadai-dai-dai-dai, yadadai-dai-dai-dai, yadadai-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-dai, yadadai-dai-dai-dai, yadadai-dai-dai, yadadai-da-da-da-da-da-dai. All right, folks, I'm going to turn to page, where are we at? Yeah, page 142 for Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, Akadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem Leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, Elohim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barchuni l'shalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon. Mi melech malachei hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzidchem l'shalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon. Mi melech malachei hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. All right, folks. We're going to turn to page 145 now. Let's read together in English. Entrances to holiness are everywhere. The possibility of ascent is all the time, even at unlikely times and through unlikely places. There is no place on earth without the presence. Let's turn to page 146 now. I'd like to invite you to rise with me, if you're able and comfortable doing so, for the Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach leolam va'ed. All right, let's have a seat. And we're going to read together on page 149. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Page 150. Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chokim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadata, Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shochbeinu uvkumenu, nasiach bechukecha, v'nismach b'divrei toratecha, uv'mitzvotecha leolam va'ed, ki hem chayenu, ve'orech yameinu, uvahem negeh yomam v'layla, v'ahavatcha al tasir mimenu leolamim, baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael. Folks, let's turn to 152 now, and please rise again with us if you're able and comfortable doing so. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem, Kavod Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed. Please have a seat. And we continue on page 154. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol miotecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha Veshinantam livanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'aderech u'shochbecha uv'kumecha u'kshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uv'isharecha למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Adonai Elohechem Emet. Let's turn to page 157 and we'll read together. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea. Page 158. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha netar b'kodesh, nora tehilot hosefele, malchutecha ra'u vanecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, ze li'anu ve'amru, Adonai yimloch leolam voed, v'nemar ki fada Adonai et Yaakov, uge'alom yad chazak mimenu, Baruch atah Adonai gal Yisrael. Let's turn to 161 now, and again we'll read together in English. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. All right, going to turn to page 162 now. Yismechu v'malchutcha shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg hamekadeshei shvi kulam yisbehu ve'yitangu mituvecha Yismechu v'malchutcha shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg hamekadeshei shvi kulam yisbehu ve'yitangu mituvecha. I'm going to turn to page 164 now. Please rise again with me if you're able and comfortable doing so for the opening of the Amidah. Adonai sifatai tiftachu fi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Magei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, Vezocher Chastei Avot ve'imahot, Umevi geula livnei v'neihem leman shemo bi'ahava. Melech ozer umoshia umagen. Baruch atah Adonai magen Avraham v'ezrat Sarah. Ata gibor leolam Adonai, mechaye metim ata rav lehoshia, mashiv haruach umorid hagashem, mechalkel chayim bechesed, mechaye metim berachamim rabim, somech noflim verofeh cholim, umatir asurim, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה. ונאמן אתה לחיות מתים, ברוך אתה אדוני mechaye hametim. All right, folks, feel free to have a seat again. And we're going to read together on page 171. Days pass, and the years vanish, and we walk sightless among miracles. God, fill our eyes with seeing and our minds with knowing. Let there be moments when your presence, like lightning, illumines the darkness in which we walk. Help us to see wherever we gaze that the bush burns unconsumed. And we, clay touched by God, will reach out for holiness and exclaim in wonder, how filled with awe is this place, and we did not know it. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. Let's read together on 173. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha-Shabbat. Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu b'yamcha Yisrael, utfilatam b'ahavat yekabel, utehil ratzon tamid avodat Yisrael amecha, el karov lechol korav, pnei lavadecha v'chonenu, shefoch ruchacha aleinu. ותחזן עינינו בשובך לציון ברחמים, ברוך אתה אדוני המחזיר שכינתו לציון. Hey folks, let's turn to 176 now. And we're going to give folks a chance to raise your hands and let us know about something you're feeling grateful about this evening. We're going to begin with the English at the top here, and then if you'd like to share something, just raise your hand and Robin will get the mic around to you. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more we offer thanks.
I'm going to offer thanks to all the sneaky people that are around there you all know who you are. It's kind of funny because I actually have been looking at this menorah for at least 2 or 3 years. People are aware of that. So thank you all. That was a real... In weeks that there's not always great surprises, this was a really nice surprise, so thank you.
Short and sweet. I'm thankful for a warm house.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I have 2 things that I'm grateful for tonight. One is last week I had a very special birthday, and I'm grateful to all my friends who helped me celebrate all week. So it was a wonderful week. And then today, I was going to meet a friend for coffee at the coffee place on Seminary Ave, and I put in my favorite earrings. I have this pair of go-to earrings. There's nothing special, but I really like them. And I got in the car. I got out of the car, I got to the coffee place, and I went like this, and I didn't have an earring. So I traced my steps back to the car, and I couldn't find it. And I said, oh, it must be at home. So I went home, and I couldn't find it. So I figured I didn't have my earring. But when I was eating dinner tonight, I said, I'm going to go to synagogue a little early with my phone, my cell phone and flashlight, and I know where we parked, and I'm going to look for it. And sure enough, I found it in the gutter. So I'm very grateful.
That's a good find. All right. Am I missing anybody? I don't think so. All right, folks. Let's finish up at the bottom. Baruch atah Adonai atov shimcha olcha na'eh lehodot. Let's turn to 179. We'll read together. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace. Baruch atah Adonai hamevarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. We'll take a moment now for our own personal prayers and reflections. Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel. Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'yimeru amin. All right, we're going to turn forward now to page 371 for our Misha Berach for healing. This week, the congregation is praying for Raphael Alietti, Kathleen Al-Jalad, David Ben Esther, Terry Bennett, Thomas Brophy, Tom Brown, Louis Calcetera, Tegan Christofferson, Betty Dorr, Llewellyn Egan, Lee Foreman, Lauren Furman, Robin Haas, Rosemary Hazen, Sheila Hickok, Sharon Kersheimer, Helen Lewis, Mike Martinez, Jim Mason, Leah Mead, John Muller, Vicki Neiman, Rowan Nocholino, Jeremy Orden, Manny Orden, Robin Orden, Grayson Porter, Evelyn Rybel, Ken Roberts, Jim Rosenstein, Sherry Schwartz, Shmuel Emmett Ruvain Mibet Avraham Vasara, Jennifer Stile, Rabbi Lance Sussman, Liz Sussman, Timothy Swindell, Rhonda Waxman, Elena Witter, Phyllis Young, Eugenia Zaroli, and Yeager Sopp. And if you'd like to add someone else's name to our healing prayers, just raise your hand and get the mic around to you. Sherry Wilson and Anne Marie's dad, Richard. Mi shebeirach avoteinu mekor habracha laimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishabeirach imotenu mekor habracha le'al shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Praying for a refuah shlema, a complete and speedy recovery to all those we're holding in our hearts this evening. So, I imagine that people have been trying to predict the future since there was the first time that people realized that there was such a thing as the future. We live in a world that's changing all the time. And those changes leave us vulnerable. We may be doing all right now, but who's to say what will happen tomorrow? To deal with that vulnerability and that lack of certainty, we look for signs of what is to come. To anticipate the changes, we hope, and to be prepared for them. People have tried many different ways of interrogating the future. We've looked to the stars and consulted the entrails of animals. We have consulted prophets and inquired of the spirits of our ancestors. In ancient times, the Israelite priesthood, the Kohanim, were the keepers of the Urim and Tumim, which were divining tools that supposedly allowed them to consult with God about the future. And of course, there are dreams. It makes a kind of sense that people might believe dreams have something to tell us about the future. The vivid images we see when we go to sleep at night often incorporate elements of what we were thinking about during the day. And what do people think about more than their hopes and their worries about the future? And then again, it's hard to deny those experiences that most of us have had at least once or twice in our lives, when a dream we had bore an uncanny resemblance to events that later occurred. The Torah's tale of Joseph and their brothers is very much bound up with the subject of dreams and what they have to say about the future, their meaning, and the seductive promise they seem to offer of gaining control through understanding. Later on in the story, Joseph's ability to interpret Pharaoh's dream is going to prove to be instrumental in averting the worst effects of a terrible famine. And it's going to be instrumental in elevating Joseph from the position of slavery and imprisonment to power and recognition. But in this parsha, the dreams of Joseph seem to have a much less positive impact on their life. Once Joseph had a dream in which he told to his brothers, and they hated him even more. He said to them, "Hear this dream which I have dreamed. There we were binding sheaves in the field, when suddenly my sheaf stood up and remained upright. Then your sheaves gathered around and bowed low to my sheaf." His brothers answered, "Do you mean to reign over us? Do you mean to rule over us?" And they hated him even more for all his talk about his dreams. Joseph's dreams are not exactly wrong. In the fullness of time, they will find themselves in a position of rulership over their brothers. The trouble is that, right or wrong, the dreams and the knowledge they contain end up having a negative impact on an already bad situation, as indicated by the phrase, "and they hated him even more," repeated at the beginning and the end of this incident. If the fantasy is being able to control the future by predicting it, then all too often the reality is much sadder. Even when we're able to see what is to come, we're often all but powerless to change it. A dilemma experienced acutely by the prophet Jeremiah, who both foresaw and lived through the fall of Jerusalem. Living without a care for the future is the very definition of foolishness. But sometimes our plans and predictions, even if wise and accurate, simply aren't enough to save us. At such times, the issue, perhaps, isn't so much about how much control we did or didn't have, as about how we responded, about the kind of people we were. Part of the lesson we can learn, perhaps, from Joseph's dreams is that whatever the dreams had to say about the future, They couldn't teach Joseph and their brothers what they really needed to know, how to get along with each other and be a support to one another in the face of life's changes. And so the questions I want to kind of consider together tonight are, what are the things that you try to figure out about the future? What are the things you'd most like to know about the future? And how do you cope with the things that you don't know, the things that are forever uncertain? And have you ever had a dream that was particularly meaningful to you? Did it change the way you thought about something, or the way you felt something, or the way that you conducted yourself in your life?
I can't say that I've ever had a dream that was actually even particularly pleasant. So it's usually the garbage going through my mind. But as far as planning ahead, I subscribe to the man plans and God laughs part of the Yiddish thing, because my life has taken totally different turns than I thought it would. Physical health problems beyond my control. Mm-hmm. So to me, what it is rather than planning for the future, is figuring out how to create a life even if things don't go the way that you planned. So you have a choice. You can be bitter about what didn't happen, or you can try to find the good things that you can within the way that you had. I had, when I first moved back to this area, and not even with this hearing problem, but previously after college, a friend gave me a poster that stayed at my door until I went back to rabbinical school, which said, "Bloom where you were planted." Mm-hmm. But my last months of rabbinical school, if you had asked me at the beginning if I would have been losing what regular sort of hearing I had left, I would have said, I would have thought you out of your mind, and if I had known that, I don't know that I would have wanted to go through school to do that. But it worked out because I helped make it work out. And, you find a path and a way to go through, because you don't know what the future is going to hold.
Thank you.
I have had many dreams, and in almost all of them, I'm the heroine, which makes me feel very good. So I try to live up to my dreams.
I had one dream that was not exactly unsettling, except for the fact that it had to do with something that was on my mind, something that I wanted to do or get or whatever, how that worked. And in the dream, I did it all. And it was so vivid. It was like a startling revelation when I woke up and realized it hadn't been done. It was like, oh, darn.
I don't see any other hands up, so I think that may be it for tonight. Thanks for your comments, guys. We're going to swing back to the Siddur now. And I'd like to invite you to turn to page 587. Can I get a volunteer to come up and open the Ark for us tonight? Anybody feeling like coming up and opening? Okay, Phyllis, come on up. All right. Please rise if you're able and comfortable for the Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol l'ateit gidula liyotzeh b'reshit shehu sam chelkeinu liyached et shemo v'gor aleinu lamlik malchuto v'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. a seat. We'll continue on page 591. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. All right. Mourner's Kaddish is on page 598. This week we are mourning the deaths of Sandra Gutman and Joe Strano. And we are remembering the yard sites of Herman Rieger, Peter Wallach, Eric Hertz, Benjamin Baruch, Julia R. Brilliant, Koppel Goodman, George Lewis, William Sukloff, Henry Weissman, Floris Bauman, Janet Hammer, Henry Kuttner, David Wolkowski, Walter Goldstrom, Elaine Gumbiner, Theodore Eisen, Kathleen Farron, Emmanuel Halpern, and Ada Roof. Please rise if you're able and comfortable doing so. Yitgadal, v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, Bialma divrach yiruteh v'yamlik malchuteh, b'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'galau v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'alam ulolmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal, shmei dekudsha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da miran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shalama Rabbah min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. May their memories be for a blessing. All right, folks, let's have a seat. I'm just going to give you a couple of announcements here. Tomorrow morning, nothing particularly special is happening. We're doing Torah study at 9:15, and services start at 10:30 as usual. We do have the Social Action Committee is meeting this coming Tuesday. That's the 16th. That's at 7 p.m. So if you'd like to come, that's when it's at. Hanukkah starts on Sunday evening. And we do invite folks, if you're available and you'd like to join us, we will be lighting the menorah out front of the building every evening around nightfall. That's going to be about 5 o'clock at this time of year in this part of the world. So we invite you to join us at 5 p.m. on Sunday evening, and then, for the rest of the week until through the following Sunday, we're going to be lighting candles, or the big light-up menorah out in front of the building every night of the week. We are also having a special Hanukkah celebration on the next Friday, on Friday, December the 19th. It's a potluck Shabbat. That'll be at 6 o'clock p.m. We invite you to come, and you can join us. You can bring your menorah, your candles. Bring a vegetarian or dairy dish to share with folks. We will have latkes, and if you'd like to join the crew to help make latkes on Friday afternoon at 4 p.m., that's when they're going to be meeting to do that. For everything else, take a look at the emails that we send out. We're going to finish up on page 625 with Adon Olam. Adon Olam asher malach b'terem kol yetzir nivra leit nasa v'chefzo kol azay melech shemo nikra ve'acharek ichlot hakol levado yimloch nora ve'hu haya ve'hu hoveh ve'hu yiyeh betifara ve'hu echad ve'ein sheni le'amshir lo le'achbira beli reshit beli tachlid ve'lo ahoz ve'am Yisrael Adonai li velo ira. All right, folks. Hamotzi lachem min haaretz, we give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together, as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lachem min haaretz. Amen. Excuse me. Shabbat shalom, folks.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.